I'm nervous.
Hey, no. Hey guys, we're in Franklin, North Carolina, and of course you know what I do. I go look for a hiker, and I got me one. He got in the truck with me, and we've been talking for just a few minutes, not very long at all. Don't even know his trail name. I know it, but I didn't remember it really. Go ahead and tell us your trail name and whatever you want to tell me about yourself.
How you guys doing? My trail name is Achilles.
Achilles, tell them how you got that name.
I got that name from a couple friends of mine I met on the trail because I'm a strong, fast hiker, but I got a couple injuries on my Achilles down here, some blisters.
Yeah,
so
you do.
They've caused me some pain, so I've been fighting through that on the trail.
Achilles, when did you start?
I started April 8th.
What made you come out here and hike the Appalachian Trail?
I was working in Manhattan, and it was kind of eating my soul, so I wanted to disconnect from society and get in touch with the spirit side of the earth, and kind of just challenge myself to be uncomfortable, getting comfortable.
Yes, I like that. Now, did you have to quit a job?
Actually, by the good grace of God, my boss is a good friend of mine, and I explained the whole situation to him. He knows that as you know, I'm in recovery.
I want you to tell me that. That's good.
So I struggled with drugs and alcohol since probably the age of 16. I'm now 26, so 10 years. I got into doing heroin, and by the good graces, I was able to overcome that through the help of my family, a 12-step program. I've been practicing that 12-step program, going out and helping others in the program, and through all the help of all that stuff, I've been able to stay sober now the last 2.5 years, which is incredible. And so along with all that, I told my boss that I wanted to come out here for 2 months and challenge myself, and he's pretty okay with it. As long as I come back to work and refocus myself, he's cool with me coming back.
So you're out here for 2 months?
2 months.
And you started at Springer?
Started at Springer. My challenge is to get to Virginia.
Okay.
I want to get up past Damascus.
Damascus, okay.
That's my goal, yep.
And will you be able to stay out here to get there, or will you really need to leave right at the 2 months?
Yeah, I mean, I can call my boss, because he was my friend before he was my boss, which is an awesome relationship to have. And so, if I call him, I'm like, hey, I want to hit this Damascus goal. Give me another week or two. I'm sure he.
What kind of work is that, Achilles?
It is low voltage. I'm a low voltage technician in Manhattan, working for the DEA actually. So I pull cables, I run networking, I do camera systems.
What's your family think about you coming out here and hiking for this long?
They think I'm a little crazy.
Okay.
My mom's like, I don't know why you're doing it, but go do your thing. They're very supportive. My dad gets it a little bit more. My girlfriend a little less, but everyone's supportive.
Let me ask you a question. If you could make it work out real easy and not be difficult, would you desire to do the whole through hike now that you've done this much of it, or
Absolutely.
not necessarily? Oh, you would?
Without a question. I've already talked to people on the trail about how I love to call my boss and tell him, hey Ron, I'm thinking about staying out here for the whole thing.
Do you think that you'll come back and do more of it after this time?
Without a doubt. I got the bug now in me. I got the hiker bug.
Man, you've got a great personality. I don't know if anybody's told you that, but you've got like the joy of life. And I know it's because of the Lord in your life. I really believe that.
Absolutely.
But you've come over here just to visit a friend. You and I met earlier today, over there by the hotel, and we got to see each other and all. How many friends are you hiking around? Are y'all got a group of y'all?
Yeah, so I mean, originally I started with a good, strong group of 5, and they pushed ahead because of my injuries. I kind of had to pull back, and I met another good group out here. There's one guy from England, 2 brothers from Pittsburgh, a couple girls, another guy from Massachusetts who played lacrosse. I played lacrosse in college, so we have that common bond. And yeah, there's a good group actually out here right now, and I'm meeting new people every day, and everybody out here, because we have that common link where we're struggling through the hills together, it just makes us all relatable.
And that is fantastic. I'm not going to keep you because I know your buddies are waiting for you in the outdoor. Maybe we'll get together and talk off camera when you come back to the hotel later, or call me if you need a ride back.
Absolutely. I just want to say one more thing. This guy right behind the camera here, Jim, or Jimmy, he's been a huge help to me. He's been driving me around, and I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Have a great day, and God bless every step between here and wherever you stop.
Thank you.
Hey guys, we're in Daleville, or I'm in Daleville. The trail crosses right here, and I've got a guy that's hiking the Appalachian Trail, trying to be a through hiker, and been talking to him. In fact, something unusual happened. He come up, I may let you tell the story, come up to my table and introduced himself, because he saw I had an AWOL sitting on the table, and so we've been talking for about an hour, I think. I asked him if I could interview him, and he's getting ready to say yes. Okay, give us your trail name.
My trail name is Tank.
Where are you from, Tank?
I'm from a small town called Vacherie, Louisiana.
What happened a while ago when you walked in? What made you come over there and say something?
Well, I saw you looking at your AWOL guide and the map out, and I thought you might be a hiker. And lo and behold, introduced myself, and come to find out, somebody had talked about a guy that was originally from Louisiana that was doing trail magic along the way and helping hikers. And we had corresponded, ironically, by text message prior to that. And it's a small world. Here we end up together.
You got a camp down in Grand Isle, Louisiana. I got a camp. We talked fishing, we talked hunting, we talked politics, we talked
trail.
Work, we talked trail, we talked a little bit of everything a while ago.
Yes, we did.
Tell me a little bit about your hike. When did you start, Tank?
I started March 11th at the approach trail at Amicalola Falls.
And you told me a little bit about how long you've been thinking about doing this.
Probably better than 10 years. And then really got serious the last couple years, and whole lot of research and planning.
And you had a big party before you left.
I did. About 100 guests of friends and family, and bonfires are really popular back there. Bonfire in a pasture. Normally we do them on a levee, but we had in a pasture, and good food, good family, good friends, and it was a really good time.
Well, your buddies are probably going to get to watch this if they find out about it, so we might have to be careful about what we say about them. I'm curious if they got a lottery on you, and how far you're going to go.
No, but some of them have said, don't screw this up, because we live in vicariously through you.
I love that, man. Man, I can't believe, well, I can believe it because you're a hiker, and you're at a high mileage now, and over, what, 700, 800?
730.
730. I knew you'd know exactly. But you finished eating a whole lot of stuff in there just now.
Yes, I did.
Didn't you bring a box out? You got a box to go?
It's in there.
You got two pieces of pizza left.
Yeah.
I can't even, tell me what all you had. I mean,
I had 12 wings and two slices shy of a large pizza, a salad, and a couple of soft drinks.
Yeah. Now, you think you could eat 10 pounds of crawfish if we had some crawfish right here?
I'd give it hell.
Good deal. Now, are you a LSU football fan?
I am. My 4 kids are all graduates of LSU, as well as my wife, and I've spent more money at LSU than anywhere else in my life, I guess.
You ought to be part of the alumni. Huh?
That's right. That's
paying out. Let's talk trail a little bit. I asked you a while ago, and really didn't respond, I don't think, in the way cut you off maybe. Have you had any day that you thought about you might quit?
Yeah, secretly within, I've had a couple. Particularly a 16-degree morning. And it was noon before my food thawed, you know, and I don't eat breakfast in camp. I'll eat on the trail. And of course, friends have advice for you, you know, put it in your sleeping bag and all that. And so yeah, and then you go, I carry a water bladder, and you know, I blow the water back into the reservoir on your pack, and before you do that, it freezes. It's tough.
Yeah, it is. But now it's warm. Now it's the other direction. It's going to start getting hot on you.
Right.
You're not even going to be in that sleeping bag. You're going to be outside of it.
Right. And I'm okay with that, because being from South Louisiana, you know, somebody was complaining about the heat the other day, and I said, you know, I'm from South Louisiana. I'm used to breathing water.
And wait until they tell you about the mosquitoes, and you say where. They think there's mosquitoes, and you be sitting there
there's no bugs.
Just breathing and eating them, as many of them as you can, you know.
Right.
What's been the hardest part being out here?
Convincing your body this is what we're doing every day.
Okay.
It's been tough. I hike what I consider long mileage days. 20 seems to be my sweet spot. I've done, you know, as high as 27, and part of that is to combat, for lack of better words, boredom. You know, combat homesickness, because when you get to a campsite at noon, 1 o'clock, that's tough. You know, I write my journal, and I have AT&T as my carrier, so I rarely have phone service, you know, so a lot of times I've got to catch up on my journal when I get into a town or so. But yeah, that's it. It's just beating your body into submission and saying, this is what we're doing, get over it.
And do it again tomorrow.
And do it again tomorrow.
Now, I want to make sure we mention your journal. Tell them how they can follow you. And because a lot of people, when they see a video of somebody they didn't know anything about, they always ask me, how can I follow that guy?
Well, my trail name is Tank, as we mentioned earlier, And I'm on the Trail Journal site. So trailjournals.com, all one word, /Tank 2019. Or you can just go to the Trail Journal site and search Tank.
Tank, how do you get such clean clothes?
Well, about every 3 or 4 days. That's another ritual. There's town chores to do, and you go in, and normally the first order of business is eating.
All right.
And then showering, doing your laundry. There's tents to air out. There's sleeping bags to air out. There's equipment maintenance to do. And you finish that just in time to eat again.
And think about what you're going to eat tomorrow.
Right. That's right.
But your clothes look like you just bought them. I know a lot of people that actually go to Goodwill or somewhere and buy town clothes so often, but you haven't done that?
No, I have not.
Wow.
I have not.
You take care of your stuff.
I try to. And my goal is to get to Katahdin, Maine with what I started with.
Hey, a South Louisiana boy, I ain't got no doubt about him. He's going to make it, guys. I'm going to put a little bit more pressure on him myself. I'm going to keep finding him on the trail and say, get on up the trail. All your gear's working good, Tank?
It is. I've been really pleased with my selections. I've resisted. I've been around other hikers that want to go get this new or that new or change this. I told my wife the other day I've invested enough in this adventure, but it's working well. My pack's a little heavier probably than some people. I'm probably averaging 33.
Wow, yeah.
But there's nothing in there that I don't want.
Well, some of that can be because you told me you're carrying 7 days of food a lot of times.
Well, I started out 7 days of food. Now I'm averaging 3 or 4 days.
So you're going into town as quick as you can to change it. What else do you feel like that's heavy? Because I would think somebody like you would be 25, 27 pounds.
Well, water.
The water?
Water.
Okay.
I've made a couple mistakes and by my own fault, daydreaming or whatever, and miss water resupplies. So that's a self-correcting problem.
Have you walked the wrong way yet?
I have not.
Wow! Congratulations! Congratulations! My wife did one time, and it taught her a lesson. Most people do it at least one time, or get lost one time. Or you doing gut hooks?
I do gut hooks. I don't consume myself with it because it's got the elevation charts, but I will use it for a planning guide, whether I want to climb in the evening or climb tomorrow morning. But you mentioned going the wrong way. One of my tactics, I've studied that before, and that's a common thing that happens, is to hang my bear bag in the direction I'm going. That's one of the techniques I use. The other is just pay close attention. Regardless of how tired you are in the evening, pay close attention to what you're doing the next morning.
I've told people a little trick I learned early on helping the wife. If you take a rubber band or something and put on the wrist the way you turn when you go off the trail to go to the bathroom, you always go that way when you come back. It makes you turn the right way.
I see.
But what about groups of people? You're not hiking with a group, and some of that is because of your mileage.
Right. I started alone. I've hiked occasionally with some people. I've hiked away from some people. But as you know, it's really difficult because everybody, some are taller, some are shorter, different gaits. Some like shorter mileage, some higher mileage. Some people really like shelters, where I like to stealth camp personally. So it's so many variables. Like I normally wake up at 4 and start hiking at 4:30, 5 o'clock. Because I really enjoy being out there when daybreak happens, when the sunrise comes up. I see a lot of animals, a lot of wildlife. Of course, I'm a spider web buster for everybody else coming behind me.
They appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
Man, you told me a cool story a while ago about a guy in a shelter with a mouse. Can you share just a little bit of that for me? Yeah,
I got into a shelter and I was going to use the picnic table to cook and kind of plan as to where I wanted to end my day, and it got dark and cloudy and started raining, and there was another guy in the shelter, and then this young guy showed up, and he had just had a bear encounter. He said he was walking along right where we had walked, 45, 50 minutes or so, and he said he saw what looked like a couple of guinea pigs in a downed tree, and I think he's processing it when Mama Bear stood up and then ran away about 50 yards. And then Mama Bear turned around and what we call bluff charged him, stopped about 25 yards, and he said he didn't run, which is good. It might have triggered a predator instinct in the bear. So he's backing up, and Mama gathered her cubs about and moved on. But it was a very, very real experience for him. And then
now give me the mouse deal in the shelter though.
Yeah,
that happened that night, I guess, right?
It started raining, so my decision was made. I was going to stay in the shelter, got set up, as well as the other 3 guys. Actually, it was 3 of us. I was sleeping on one side, the other gentleman the other, and there were 2 people up in the loft. And right at dusk, it was getting dark in the shelter. I saw a rat run across the shelter floor, and I was sitting there debating whether to say something or not to panic the herd. When the guy that had the bear encounter jumped out the loft because a mouse had run across a rafter above his head. So my decision was made. I packed up. It had quit raining. The trees were still dripping, but apparently I helped the group make their decision too, because one guy camped in his tent close to the shelter, and the other 2 and myself started hiking. And the young guy says, "How far are you going?" I said, "I don't know. I'm gonna hike till I get tired, or I'll find a place to tent." So I set out, and we finally found a side trail probably 2.5 hours later that we camped on. But
tell about him, where he camped.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is we're going down the trail, and there's a downed tree with no limbs on it, so I ducked.
Oh yeah.
And I hear and I hear the guy still walking behind me, so obviously he ducked, and then I hear a thud. So this guy hit the tree, and so he's flailing in the mud because he's still gun shy from the bear incident, and I would be too. I mean, that's a pretty awakening experience. So we get him up, and he had a rough night, you know.
But then he was scared,
he hit
though.
the tree.
But I was going to get at.
He hit the tree, and then he slipped into a creek. And then later on, when we get to where we're going to camp, he says, "I need to pitch my tent between y'all two."
That's the part I like.
That's the security blanket there.
I like that.
You know, they say you don't have to run fast. If a bear attacks, you just got to run faster than your friend.
Your friend. And I know a Louisiana boy ain't gonna get outrun.
That's right.
If a bear's after his behind. Man, listen, I've had a great time with you. I've really enjoyed our time eating together and staying out here talking about it. Looking forward to catching you up the trail, hopefully, and maybe get another interview with you and see if anything's changed after you do 500 or 600 more miles. Anybody you want to say hello to before I let you go?
Oh, my wife, my kids, my family, my friends, everyone. Really enjoying this. It's an adventure of a lifetime. It really is.
You're making Louisiana proud, my man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tank, and God bless every step between here and Katahdin.
Thank you, Jimmy. Good day.